habits that you need to break yourself from if you want to speculate. Get right back to
Now, if we take a look at
ineffective speculators. Another thing they do, they buy cheap stuff. I'm back, and I got 5 more bad habits that you need to break yourself from if you want to speculate like a pro. Let's get right back to ineffective speculators. Another thing they do, they buy cheap stocks because they assume everything.
Natural gas, those are not specific, right? Not to say those are natural resources.
Take you back
So
a
with
little
everybody,
bit.
and you now have the Bank of
Essentially
Japan,
between
England, America,
1914
Chinese
and
apparently
1920,
loosening up everybody is now loosening the money supply, printing money.
Hi, I'm Max Kaiser. This is the Kaiser Report.
We also had a relatively low discount rate. Interest rate where banks borrowed from the federal government. There's a lot more important factors
Better,
in the
shortages are really all commodities developing and I'm going to make money in the commodities. If the economy does get better, it's been a lot more money placed to be in where
I was just saying, I told you this has been happening for weeks. All we do is search stuff online. And we use several different search engines, but start page stuff just processes through. And if someone in the room is watching us, right, we hope they take it with the instruments, learning that they're going to go in and fix our searches, and saying they're killing us. Of course they can't have me on here dominant. And I'm dominating all over the web now. We're being censored everywhere.
Everything in the world
I have confirmed that people
maybe the US dollar will go up initially, but probably everything would be hit in the shock that made the oil. So I own gold, I'm not selling my gold.
The crash of Lehman Brothers. It was a discussion on my side of the former chancellor.
And what the Fed is doing is simply guaranteeing that
most people don't understand
the 0% interest rates prevent.
And perhaps you know Venus Project, you know the Free Gold Charter organization, you know perhaps the books and the stories of Gene Roddenberry, Star Trek, where we live in the world without money. I can tell you it is possible. But the problem we are facing is how can we get there? And all that we have to know is it happens in our minds. We have to push the right switches and then we will find the path.
Okay, online, yes, okay. Okay, traders. Hello to another FM Signals video edition. My name is Joel Damegaj from good old Germany, and you're welcome to another 48 hours technical analysis and synthesis. Today I'm choosing the Canada dollar Japanese yen, so analyze this stuff again, it's still yours. Here we go, it's 2019 Central European time, 1919 London time of course, or for example 1419 in New York and Toronto. By the way, Thursday morning or night in Tokyo 390 on Thursday. Okay, before we start with the 5-minute charts, let's get a shortly overview about the bigger time frame here, the 1 hourly chart. And interesting for me, or the reason why I'm choosing the 1 hour chart today, so is here we see here this downside trend from middle March here, or the last two March, or the last 2 weeks in the March, or here the upside trend. Let me first say here, of course, the upside trend. Here the upside trend. Then here something like a top. And here this downside trend. So, and here to give you some pictures inside here. Come back. Here to zoom this back. Oh yes, this was it. Okay, here we are. Here we go. Here we see here something like a top building. Here painted in gray, light gray. Here top building, and then here after the top, the second top here, this downside trend, and we broke this downside trend yesterday. yesterday, this night, Central European time. So very interesting formation. And by the way, here we see the lows. And by the way, here interesting are here these 3 lows. So for March and April. So 1 week, 2nd week, 3rd week here. These 3 lows, and we are trading around about it. So very interesting. And that's the main reason. The first main reason why I'm choosing this this cross trade today here, or seeing or watching a great buying opportunity. Okay, but let's break it down to the 5-minute charts here, and here we see the three lows here from the sideways trend, so 2 weeks ahead, so 3, 4, 5 weeks before here. And interesting, of course, is let me say something to the one hourly chart here. Of course, this formation here, we see a great W reverse, a great W, technically perfectly here. First at the navy blue line, lows, second navy blue line, and then once again on the second, a little bit lower than the first, and then we go ahead. So technically perfectly. And the main question is, of course, here. Buy or sell, we'll see. So this is a bigger formation, of course, than this one, of course. So, but we can also speculate, or that is my calculation here. Here you see here the bears, if you want, here the little bulls. But if you think a step further, perhaps we could see here something like a shoulder head, shoulder formation. So, but that's on the hourly time frame and not important for the next 48 hours. So, okay. So come back or come down to the 5-minute charts, and we see we are trading here a little bit above it. So, and that's as I said, the reason why I choose this chart today, or this cross rate today. Okay, here we go further. Interesting for the next 48 hours or for the short term view, here are these 2 trend lines. Here we see the lows, here this upside trend, and then we've got here this massive upside trend. As I said, the W on the hourly time frame. So, and we see here the impact. Here, come back to the daily chart. Here, this massive impact, the massive impact of this trend line, guys. Here, look at this. On the 5-minute chart, we see it here. We're fighting against it, and then we grew up, break out. And here, also here, I thought, okay, aftermath, you always know more than before. So here we see this. Should be, in my opinion, much more massive, but we so we should how do you say in English, struggle, fight time perhaps for the next 48 hours against this line. And here we see we've got this massive upside end, so I don't accept this here also. So I'm more accepting here, struggling here like this. Perhaps is this even a struggle, 40-50 pips above or low. So okay, however, analyze the stuff again, it's still yours. My thought for today for this cross rate is here. Let's put the daily, let's put it first, the daily and the weekly time frame, and we see here we've got a massive upside trend in the last 2 days. So don't be worried if we go lower. I'm accepting a little bit lower prices. So perhaps here a fall even under this 3 weekly lows, 3, 4, 5 weeks before. So that could be a cheap buy opportunity. But yeah, we'll struggle here a little bit above it, and we will see what will happen in the next minutes. Okay. How to trade this cross rate, how to trade. Here I'm painting here this massive upside trend. So I would on the shortly time frame talking about this actual scenario here, about here this week. So yesterday, the last 24, 36 hours. So I'm painting here a low line after this upside trend and this upside trend here. And we see here this upside trend was even a little bit slider than this sharp upside trend, of course, that couldn't hold so far, no doubt. But here this one, and we see here we break this in the last minutes, and that was the second reason why I chose this cross rate, even for the next 48 hours. That's the name of the game, or the name of the gain. Nice wordplay. Okay, so here we see this upside trend from yesterday, slightly upside trend, of course here also this downtrend, and then I will come to you. Here we are. So we see this upside trend here, as I said, here this upside trend, sideways trend, and here this downside trend today, Central European time, of course, 18 April 2012, this intraday downside trend. Here we are, here we go. And by the way, here the trading sessions of Toronto and Tokyo. So, and we touched here for a few minutes. We broke this upside trend from yesterday. We created here in the last minutes some trading session lows, if you want. Here we are. Here touched the first line. If you I zoomed it, see it a little bit better. And the question is, well, that should be a support here. I would prefer the long side. I would proudly or slightly proudly buy this cross rate, and of course take stops. I will show you on trading capability where, for example. Okay, good. Important for my opinion is to understand the bigger picture here, to put it all in a context here. The bigger picture broke, and here the sideways trend, and here aftermath, the second picture we are trading now. Here the lows round about 81.44 and this upside trend. So, and we are struggling here round about it, and this downside trend after this B formation on the time frame. So then the question is here this shortly bear trend from today, and from yesterday this upside trend, and we are here something like a crossroad, and here of course this 3 weekly lows. So okay, by the way, I'm putting here also FIBO lines. You know, I like to working with FIBO lines, and interested sometimes is really fascination how the famous mathematic professor Hardy says, very beautiful mathematics can be very beautiful, and here we see why. Here we see here at this cross rate, here we see at the FIBO line this outbreak, and of course this outbreak, and of course the info from the Bank of England came also out. So by the way, from technically and monetary policy, we've got here 1, 2, 3 triggers on the short term. By the way, read the report. I don't want to talk about this anymore today here in this video. I twittered the link and read it, and yes, analyze the stuff again, it's still yours. And by the way, I'm not bullish on every Canadian cross rate. By the way, today I uploaded US dollar Canadian, the loonie, to buy. So in this context, sell Canadian dollar, and I will let you understand to put this in a context. So I would prefer to buy loonie, US dollar, Canadian dollar, so sell dollar, Canadian dollar in this against the US dollar, but buy against the Japanese yen. So understand this trading capability, please, in this context. Yes. Okay. Come back. Come on. Okay. A little bit short cliffhanger. Okay. Oh. Good. Okay. Okay. The question is, of course, how to trade, how to use this info, how to make some pips. My opinion is, or my thoughts are, here. I put this here. You see the black lines, and the signal for me was here. This upside trend from yesterday, and today we are struggling above it. So I take the lows of yesterday and the highs of today. So, and I would prefer the long to go long right here right now. Live at 20:31 Central European Time, 19:31 London Time, 40:31 in New York, Toronto, or even 3:31 in Tokyo. So at 82:02, the stop would I create here by the lows of yesterday, 81.44. So we've got 58 pips on the downside, and the first target should be 82.44. So 42 pips on the above side. So the first target, and then of course, yes, of course, take the stop if we are. By the way, basic information. Of course, I'm thinking you understand to on a short-term view. If we get the first target, then take the stop on. If we broke the first target here, if we're trading about 82.55, for example, in this trade, then don't forget to place the stop here on the first target, and then second target, etc., etc. By the way, but yes, of course. One trader sent me an email and asked me why I'm said here the first target, second target, third target, or third. Always same. The first, second, and third stop. So I would even erase or maximum my profit and minimum my stops. But it's this shouldn't be an trading plan webinar. So analyze the stuff again. It's still yours. You can put the stop where you want. But at first I would here broadly buy this cross rate here right now at 3:33 in the morning Tokyo time, or 20:33 European time, Central European time, or 40:33 in Toronto, New York. I would slightly prefer to buy this here at 82.03. The first target are 82.44, and stop should be here. So however, I'm accepting higher prices until the end of the week, higher than 82.44, but not so much, slightly proudly, yes, slightly proudly above this weekly highs. So, okay, that's the name of the game of the trade today. And yes, what I want to say at the end, I forgot it. One moment, where's my paper? Here we are, here we go. Yes, here here once again the data for this week. Yes, tonight in 3 hours 55. So at 18 o'clock New York time, BOJ Governor Shirakawa will speak. Then 2 hours, then 80 minutes later, so will the trade balance come out from Japanese, also very interesting, of course, and tertiary industry activity one day later. And on Friday we will get no data from the US, if I'm not wrong, but important data from Canada here, core CPI, CPI, and the leading index. So if you want to trade this currency in the next days, don't ignore these 6 data. So three impacts from Japan, and then on Friday 3 from Canada. Okay guys, thanks for spending your time watching my video. My name is El-Erian from good old Germany. It's the 18th April 2012, 20:36 Central European Time, 19:36 London Time, 40:36 in Toronto in New York, or for example Thursday 3:36 in Tokyo. Thank you for spending your time watching my video wherever and whenever and wherever you are. If you're a soccer fan, enjoy the match between Chelsea and Barcelona, European Soccer Champions League. It will start in 9 minutes. So by the way, good morning, good day and good night, wherever and whenever you're watching my FM Signals info show video. Talking tomorrow about Wall Street session. Bye bye guys.